Hangul, the Korean alphabet, is probably the most praised in the world. It captures pronunciation almost flawlessly. But here's the thing, as a writing system, it often feels less perfect. Why? Because of one thing the alphabet can't fix, and it trips up even native speakers. So, what is it? Hangul was created by King Sejong the Great back around 1443, and it was officially launched in 1446. And get this, the system was already super mature right from the start. There were only minor adjustments afterwards. In linguistic terms, this could be called a miracle. Why? Because most writing systems like Chinese characters, the Roman alphabet, or the Indian Brahmi script typically takes centuries, if not millennia, to develop from creation to basic maturity. By Hangul, 3 or 4 years. That's it. So calling it a miracle doesn't seem like an overstatement. Modern linguists love this system, and for good reasons. It's easy to learn, clearly shows pronunciation, and actually helps reduce illiteracy. People could read and write in months, not years. And here's the weird part. Hangul has been around for centuries, but for most of that time, it was just a backup script. The official one was always Chinese characters. Hangul was mainly used among common people. The upper class? Chinese characters only. This didn't change until the mid-1900s. That's when North and South Korea finally made Hangul the official script. So here's my question. If the system is so good, why did it take so long? Why didn't they use it from day one? You might think it's because the scholar class resisted it. And yeah, that's part of it. But there's another reason, a big one, linguistically. And it has to do with how Korean vocabulary works. Let me give you an example. Think about English. About 60% of English words come from French and Latin. And these words blended into English pretty smoothly. They acted like a giant patch, filling in gaps and expanding the language, without breaking anything. The pronunciation changed a bit, like French bagage became English baggage, or Latin dadum became English dada. Sometimes even the spelling stayed the same. So why did this work so well? Because English, French, or Latin, despite belonging to different branches, they still share deep Indo-European structural similarities. Now let's look at Korean. Korean also has roughly a similar proportion of vocabulary that comes from another language, Chinese. When you write native Korean words with Hangul, it works just fine. But when you write Chinese origin words with it, problem. Let me show you what I mean. Take these Chinese words for story, ancient temple, ancient poem, bid farewell, wither and die, and ritual proclamation, respectively. In Chinese, these are 6 different words. They're written differently, they sound differently. But when they came into Korean, if you write them in Hangul, they all became the same word, 고사. You see problem, right? With Chinese characters, you can tell them apart in writing. No confusion, but with Hangul alone, without context, there's just no way to tell which one you're talking about. Well, this may be an extreme example, but here's the thing. When Korean pronunciation matching 2 or 3 Chinese words, super common, happens all the time. So why does this happen? Well, it's because Chinese and Korean function very differently. Korean is what we call an agglutinative language. Affixes attached to word stems. Native Korean words are built this way, and they are deeply embedded in this system. You can add parts, change forms, stack on grammatical markers, super flexible. But Chinese origin words, they don't work that way. Chinese is an analytic language, an extreme one even. The words are rigid and barely change form. They can't participate in Korean's morphological gymnastics, so you can't use the same tricks to clear up ambiguity. And here's the key. Chinese has tones. The same sound can mean completely different things depending on the tone. So even in spoken Chinese, there's rarely confusion. Korean though, no tones, at least not in most modern dialects. And that's what makes this whole thing so much harder. Of course, written Korean has adopted various measures to prevent confusion. Chinese words don't change form like native words, so they try to use native Korean words whenever possible, or stick Chinese words to fixed phrases to make the meaning obvious. And they sometimes create new words by mixing native and borrowed elements to make them more distinguishable. And despite all this, Chinese characters are still used to mark proper nouns or easily confused words whenever necessary. But the thing is, these are all workarounds. They're not real solutions. More like taking a detour to reduce the chance of a confusion to something acceptable. At the end of the day, written Korean still depends heavily on context. Look, I'm not saying Hangul isn't excellent. It's a superb phonetic system. There's no doubt about that. The problem isn't with Hangul itself. It's with how Korean vocabulary is structured. This isn't King Sejong's fault. People don't call him Sejong the Great for nothing. And you know what? Koreans have noticed this issue. There are scholars who keep pushing for stronger Chinese character education. It's never been the mainstream opinion, but it's never completely gone away either. Personally, I don't think they need to go back to how things were hundreds of years ago. But handling Chinese characters the way Japanese do may not be such a bad idea. What do you think? Please let me know. Thank you.